Today we're getting into something pretty personal, often kept really private. Cross-dressing and how it intersects with our most intimate relationships.
Yeah,
And specifically, we're looking at the ethics around that. It's a complex area.
it really is.
Our mission here for this deep dive is to unpack those tough questions. Disclosure, privacy, consent, honesty, really.
Above all, honesty.
Exactly. We want to explore how to respect individual needs and a partner's right to know to make informed choices.
Because the emotional stakes are just incredibly high.
They are.
And, there often aren't easy black and white answers here. It's really personal territory.
Sure.
Especially with something like cross-dressing, which has faced so much misunderstanding historically. But we can find clarity by looking at the nuances. Think about, say, someone who's been secretly cross-dressing for years, and their partner has absolutely no idea. Our sources help us see the emotional landscape, the fear on one side, the potential shock on the other.
Right.
So we'll explore why it's so often hidden, that really crucial difference between privacy and secrecy, the hidden costs of hiding it, and, importantly, how to actually talk about it.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Before we even touch the ethics directly, the sources really highlight why this often stays hidden. It's not just a simple choice, is it?
No, absolutely not. For most people, the secrecy isn't coming from a bad place. It's protective. The reasons often go way back. Childhood, adolescence, maybe early experiments with clothes or identity were met with just intense shame, fear, misunderstanding from family or society. We hear stories, people recalling being called names pervert or being told it's wrong, maybe even punished for something they didn't even understand themselves yet. And those fears, they stick around. As adults, they're still incredibly powerful. What if my partner thinks I'm gay? Or what if she leaves me?
Or tells people.
Exactly. What if she tells everyone and I'm shamed? There's just decades, maybe centuries of this cultural baggage saying a man in a dress is weak or laughable or somehow deviant. That weighs heavily.
That kind of deep-rooted shame, plus the societal pressure.
Yeah. But this brings up a really important question, something our sources dig into. We all have a right to privacy, right?
Sure.
But what's the actual difference between privacy and secrecy, especially in a relationship? Where's that line?
Okay, yeah. How do we define that?
Well, privacy, that's more about choosing what you share and with whom. It's usually healthy, respectful, you decide your boundaries.
Right.
Secrecy, though, that's different. That's hiding something from someone who, would reasonably expect to know about it, especially if knowing that thing would affect their decisions about the relationship itself.
So it impacts their ability to consent, really.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It impacts their ability to give informed consent to the relationship as it truly is.
Okay, so applying that to cross-dressing. If it's like super minor, happens once in a blue moon, doesn't really affect anything, maybe that's privacy for some.
Perhaps. If it's genuinely minor, occasional, and has zero real impact on the dynamic, maybe it falls under privacy for that specific couple. But for many, cross-dressing isn't minor. It's emotionally significant. It might take up time, money. It can be linked to sexuality. It's often a deep part of someone's identity. And in those cases, it's not really separate from the relationship. It becomes part of the relationship dynamic, even if the partner doesn't see it.
So the core question becomes, does your partner deserve to know?
That's the ethical heart of it. If this aspect of your life affects your emotional availability, maybe your sexual needs or preferences, how you spend shared resources like time or money or what you need long term, then it's not just your business anymore.
It becomes theirs too.
It becomes theirs too, because hiding it deprives them of the chance to consent to the full picture, the whole you, the whole relationship. And that's where trust starts to break down, even if they don't know why yet.
Right, and many people think, if I tell, it'll blow everything up. But the sources point out something really interesting. Hiding it can quietly poison things anyway.
Exactly. It's not always a big explosion. Sometimes it's a slow corrosion.
So what are those hidden costs? Beyond just the fear of being rejected if you tell.
Well, there are several real consequences. First, there's emotional distance. Hiding a big part of yourself inevitably builds a kind of wall.
Yeah.
Your partner might sense something's off, like you're holding back, but they can't put their finger on it. Creates tension. Then there's the internal cost. Guilt and anxiety. Constantly worrying about being caught is stressful. It can lead to avoidance, irritability. It takes a toll.
Constantly looking over your shoulder.
Totally. And then, if the truth does come out accidentally, or maybe after years and years, the feeling for the partner is often betrayal.
Not about the cross-dressing itself, necessarily.
Often it's not what you do, but the fact that you lied, that you deceived them for so long. That's the trauma.
Yeah. Huh?
And finally, if cross-dressing is part of your sexuality but you can't share it, intimacy suffers. For both people, it creates a disconnect.
So honesty isn't just about confessing. It sounds like it's more about building a foundation where both people actually understand who they're with, even if it's awkward at first.
Exactly. It's proactive. It's about building mutual understanding.
So given all that, the hidden costs, the ethics, when should someone share this? And how on earth do you start that conversation? The sources must have some guidance there.
They do offer some practical thoughts, though obviously every situation is unique. Generally, in very early dating, first few dates, it's probably too soon.
Right. You're just getting to know basics then.
Yeah, focus on basic compatibility first. But as things get closer, say in the first few months, if it feels like it's getting serious emotionally or physically, that's when you need to start thinking about disclosure, especially if cross-dressing is regular or significant for you.
And definitely before big commitments.
Oh, absolutely. Before moving in together, getting engaged, getting married, you must disclose. Our sources are pretty clear. Entering that level of commitment while hiding something this major, it's unethical, plain and simple.
Okay, so that's the when. What about the how? How do you actually do it?
Yeah, the how is crucial. First, pick a good time and place. Private, quiet, no interruptions, not right before rushing off to work.
Makes sense.
Use I statements. Frame it as your experience. This is something I've carried, or this is part of me I want to share because I trust you.
Own it.
Exactly. And be prepared for questions. Your partner will likely be surprised, maybe confused, possibly upset. Try to answer honestly, calmly.
And clarify what it means and doesn't mean.
Critically important. Explain what cross-dressing means to you. Address the common fears up front. Doesn't mean you're gay. Doesn't mean you want to transition. Are you cheating? Be clear about your own identity and boundaries. And finally, offer reassurance. You're sharing this because you value the relationship, because you want a deeper, more honest connection.
But, and this seems huge, the conversation doesn't just stop once you've said it.
Not at all.
Your partner gets to react however they react, and you have to respect that.
100%. This is where it gets really delicate.
Yeah.
Your partner has the absolute right to feel however they feel.
Even if it's negative.
Even if it's negative. They might be accepting, curious, supportive. Or they might be shocked, hurt, confused, even disgusted. It's important to remember that reaction isn't necessarily cruelty. It might stem from their own background, beliefs, fears, or boundaries.
So you can't force them to be okay with it.
Definitely not. Don't try to force acceptance. Give them space and time to process. And don't minimize their feelings. Saying, oh, it's not a big deal is really invalidating if it feels like a big deal to them.
Right.
But also, don't shame yourself. You're sharing vulnerably. The best approach is to invite more conversation. Ask them gently, how are you feeling about this? What questions do you have?
And then figure out boundaries together.
Yes, that's the next step, finding common ground through discussion and negotiation. Maybe they're okay with some aspects, but not others. It requires working together.
And this leads to consent, real mutual consent.
Exactly. It becomes critical. Cross-dressing within the relationship needs agreement. It can't be something one person just does and the other is forced to tolerate.
Like you wouldn't just bring home a pet without talking about it first.
Great analogy. And this is often far more personal and complex than a pet. You need to discuss things like frequency, how often, presentation, what does it look like, privacy just at home or elsewhere. Involvement, do they want to be part of it or keep distance? The sexual aspect, is it linked or separate?
So consent isn't just a one-time thing, it's an ongoing negotiation.
It absolutely is. It applies to all these shared aspects of life.
And finding compromise here doesn't mean you have to give up who you are. It's about finding a way for both people to feel respected.
Precisely. Finding that space for both individual needs and shared comfort.
This must be especially tough for people who've kept this hidden for, like, decades in a marriage.
Oh, it's a terrifying situation for many, hiding it for 5, 10, 20 years. The guilt is massive. The fear of blowing up a long-term life together is overwhelming.
Yeah.
But the sources suggest keeping it buried forever often becomes impossible. It eventually surfaces through accidental discovery, a personal crisis, a breakdown.
So if someone is in that situation, what's the advice?
Be honest about the secrecy itself. Start there. Acknowledge the hiding, apologize for the deception, explain why you hid it for so long.
Okay. And explain why you're telling them now.
Yes. What changed? Did the burden get too heavy? Did you find the courage? And then brace yourself. Be prepared for any reaction. Anger is common, and often it's less about the cross-dressing and more about the years of lies.
Understandable.
Absolutely. And finally, get support. Therapy is highly recommended individual therapy for you and couples therapy together. A neutral professional can really help navigate those intense emotions.
Okay. And there's another angle our sources touch on, this common frustration some cross-dressers feel. Like, it's just clothes. Why does my partner care so much?
Right. That it's just clothes argument. It comes up a lot.
But it often misses the partner's perspective, doesn't it?
Completely. It often fails to grasp the deep emotional complexity for the partner, especially perhaps for many women in heterosexual relationships. For them, it can trigger a cascade of fears.
Like what?
Like we mentioned earlier, is he gay? Is he actually transgender and wants to transition? Will our sex life change completely? Did he marry me under false pretenses? Can I even feel attracted to him like this?
It shakes their whole foundation.
It really can. It challenges deeply ingrained cultural ideas about masculinity, stability, gender roles. Yeah. Their whole picture of their partner and their life together can feel like it's shattering. It causes huge cognitive dissonance.
So their reaction isn't necessarily about being intolerant or a bigot.
Not usually, no. It's about being human and grappling with a sudden, fundamental shift in their reality. They might feel confused, betrayed, embarrassed, scared. All very human reactions.
So compassion needs to flow both ways.
Absolutely crucial. Just as the crossdresser hopes for understanding and acceptance, they need to extend empathy and patience towards their partner's complex, often fear-driven response.
So wrapping this up, it feels like the core message from our sources is pretty clear. Cross-dressing itself doesn't have to destroy a relationship.
No.
But dishonesty, that almost certainly will.
That's the key takeaway. Dishonesty corrodes trust, which is the bedrock. But navigating this with openness, with empathy, with mutual respect, couples can come out stronger.
Really? Strong.
Yes. Some actually find new dimensions to their intimacy, their creativity, their connection. It's not guaranteed, of course. Some relationships don't survive it. That's the reality.
But living honestly is worth the risk.
Living honestly with consent and clarity is fundamentally healthier, even with the risks.
Because hiding might feel safe in the short term, protecting you from rejection.
Right.
But it basically guarantees distance, isolation, shame.
Right.
Whereas honesty, it opens the door.
It opens the door to being fully known.